Did.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining in today. We've got most people online, I think, so we can start to get going. We'll be sending out a recording of this session later on today or tomorrow, so if you have to leave or if you'd like to go over it again, we'll be sending that out. So today we're going to be going through the upgraded comms facility within Potentiality, the new templating and read more facility, etc. There's been quite a lot of work going into that facility, which I'm sure most of you noticed over the past few months, but we've been waiting till we get a lot of it done before running through the whole thing. There's still a couple of things yet to be released, but we'll have a quick look at them as well, just so you know what's coming. If someone could just type in the chat window just to make sure you can all hear me out there. I'd hate to present and no one can hear me. So if someone could just say hi. Okay, that's great. We've got audio, so that's good. Thanks, guys. All right, so the diagram that you can see on your screen now is just a bit of an introduction to what we're going to be talking about today, because you can see on the top left-hand corner we've got the e-newsletters and bulletins and daily Outlook communication, which is the communications component of the Potentiality system. And this diagram is something you may have already seen, or it's something you may see more frequently, because this is describing what we're doing with data, how we're trying to simplify the use of data within schools. And we'll go through and have a look at some examples of clients that are using this more closely with the whole school structure and communications. And the idea here is that these outer components of this diagram are the engagement. They're the most common ways of engaging with your community, and that might be parents and alumni. But they all require data in order to operate. So for example, with e-newsletters and bulletins, you need your mailing lists, you need your unsubscribed, hopefully you're getting engagement data and read statistics coming back into your fundraising database. With your event bookings, you might have permissions lists and event attendances coming back in. All of these engagement tools require data to operate and feed data back into your database. Now, a common scenario when looking at how data is used within a school, I've got another diagram here. This is a common scenario of how schools might operate, and you might have your fundraising database, you might have crowd fundraising, public website, event management, e-newsletters and bulletins, daily Outlook communication, and they're all being run by separate products. So, Outlook obviously is a Microsoft product. E-newsletters and bulletins might be run by MailChimp, Constant Contact, those sorts of things. Event bookings might be TryBooking, SeatAdvisor, those event sites. Public website, online community might be Potentiality, might be other online community software. And crowd fundraising, obviously there's Just Giving, Everyday Hero, those types of sites. They all require data to run, and obviously you're duplicating the data from your fundraising database or from your student management system in order to run those operations, and then you're manually feeding data back in on most occasions, if at all. Engagement reader statistics might be coming back in, attendance lists might be coming back in, and all of that's being done manually. What we're trying to focus on here is that obviously running with Potentiality, you still need essentially a data sync with your primary database, but if we can simplify the use of data within the whole environment, obviously we can then focus on making this data connection much more solid, and then if that connection is solid, then it opens up all of this other functionality immediately. And it's a much easier thing for the IT crowd within the school to focus on, just getting this one data connection. We've recently just released our single direction sync process, and that's something that has been installed with Synergetic, with Maze, with Taz, and the reason we've released a new single direction sync tool is that writing data back into school databases systems is very complicated, and we do have ways of doing it, but it's quite restrictive because we're dependent on the third-party database. So, dependent on Synergetic, Taz, Maze, those databases to make sure that the data can get back in. but it's actually a lot easier to read data from those databases. So by focusing on reading the data from those databases, you open up a lot of this functionality within Potentiality, and that's something we know that we can do. And obviously we still then work with you to try and get the data back in, but getting the data out is the most important thing. So dealing with what we're talking about today, the e-newsletters and bulletins, if we're able to read data directly from the school management system, then you know that the addresses and the contact lists within Potentiality reflect what is in the school database, and so you know that you can go into Potentiality at all times and just build your list and send your comms. And so what we'll do is have a look at how that's done and how people are using the system. So the first thing about this approach is that the sites that we're creating now for clients are much more closely tied to the actual school site. So you can see this is one of the sites we're actually working on at the moment, which is Queen Margaret College in New Zealand. That is their Potentiality site, and it's been designed to replicate their school site exactly. So it actually runs in absolute seamless, in parallel with the school site. So people don't even know when they're switching between one and the other. This is another example. This is Badminton School in the UK, and you can see they've got their school menu system running across the top, but this is actually their Potentiality site. Same goes with Auckland Grammar. They've got their school menu system running across the top and their Potentiality functionality running down the bottom. So running, you can actually have separate skins, and that's different versions of the Potentiality system. So you can still have a version that runs the alumni and has a separate, we've just had a question about organising that for a client. That's something that we can have a conversation with you about. Obviously we can set that up for you so that it looks and functions to run with your website, but that's a conversation we need to have, because we need to set up exactly how it's going to interact with your website. We can make the system look however you want, so it can be completely seamless, it can be slightly different. You can have multiple skins, one that deals with the alumni. Some clients choose to have a skin of the alumni that looks completely different from the skin that is designed to work in conjunction with the school website. And being able to have these different skins means that you're creating these completely separate environments for engaging with these different groups of people. But coming back to that diagram, you're still simplifying the use of data within the school. So you're still getting this single situation of use of data, but you can create as many different views to engage with people for fundraising, for alumni, for school community, all happening within the one system without duplicating data. But anyway, that's more about the uses of Potentiality, and if you're interested in setting that up, then just get in touch with us. Just looking more specifically now at the comms side of things, I've come through to the Cromwell site here, because they've actually used our inbuilt template builder to create the template that you can see here. And we'll go through and have a look at examples of how you can set this up using the template builder. But one of the important things about the use of this comms tool is that you can use templates from anywhere, and MailChimp, Constant Contact, you can bring those templates in. We've got another example here. Coming back to the Auckland Grammar site, we've got some templates that they actually had which were designed internally and have just been imported into the Potentiality system. So just having a look at a few of their templates, you can see we've got university scholarship emails, headmaster's bulletin, music newsletter, careers, EDMs, etc. So if we just click on the headmaster's bulletin as an example, you can see that's a template that has been set up and designed, and so they just can load that template in and change the content and send it off. So obviously having those templates set up simplifies enormously the process of creating these emails, but it's also important to look back at the use of the data, because if you know that the data in Potentiality is completely reflective of the school database, then you're able to go in, run your search, select who you're sending it to, bring the template up, and it's all done without duplicating data at all. That also then includes the data that's feeding back in, so the read statistics is coming back in automatically. And so just to show you how that would work, using the data, we can just click on the search function that you can see within the administrator tools on the left-hand side. And you might, for example, search a group, and we could type in parents, and we could type in students, and then you can see we've got 3,500 people there, so it's quite easy to set that up. But when it comes to the actual data, then you've got all your data located in the same location. So we've got all your events, all your comms, all your payments, so we can search everyone who has clicked on an email, and you've got 574 there, and we can cross-reference that with anyone who's attended 10 or more events, and cross-reference that with anyone who's made a donation or whatever it might be. So having all this data in one location is obviously a very powerful tool, and that's not something that needs to be copied across manually. But again, coming back to the more specific purpose for this this chat, the template selection is quite simple. So this is a template that this client set up, or we could go to another client here. This is Wakefield Grammar in the UK, and they've actually imported their templates from MailChimp. And you can see we've got a whole selection of templates available that they've brought in. And if we skip through to the layout, this is the actual template that was created in MailChimp that they imported. And again, just having it here makes it a whole lot easier to use the data. Copying in from MailChimp is quite a simple process. I've seen there's a few ways of doing it, so I'm going to show you one. And you can see we're in the MailChimp interface here. Obviously the other email drafting tools have similar interfaces, and all you're looking for is the HTML functionality. So you can see we've got here export as HTML, export template, and we can just have a look at that actual document. I'm just viewing my files here, and you can see I could go open with a text editor, and so that's now going to give us all the HTML text. You can just copy and paste that. So just highlight all, copy, and then we could come back into one of our editors, view the source, and then paste the source. If you need more help and more information on that, just let us know. We'll obviously help you out wherever we can, but you can see that I've just pasted all that source in, and that very basic template that I just was working with has now been imported into our editor. So, the key there really is being able to use any template, whether it's internally designed or externally designed, and bring it into this facility. Gives you the benefit of having all the data in one location and using any template that you like. A couple of new features which we can walk through now. If I'll just bring back a template that was created previously, and you can see, for example, here they've got a foundation news template which they drafted. One of the new features that we've got here now is the read more functionality, and you can see in the menu system up the top there we've got read more. So what this is doing is if we highlight a selection of this text, and we'll take it up to there and just take that out and then click on the read more link, you'll see it's just dropped in a bit of a container here, and you've got the further text at the top. So if we just paste in the text that I've just copied and pasted, and then you can actually change this read more text if you wanted to, so we can just type in whatever we want there, and that's what gets the content into that email. So I'll just put in test text, and I'll send a test copy to myself now, and we can show you what's actually happened as a result of that. Now, when you drop in a read more container, one of the things that happens is it ticks this box down the bottom automatically. You can see we've got enable view online. Now that's because the end user only receives the read more text, and when they click read more, they need to then go through to the to a public online copy of it. So enabling this feature means that the content of this message must be visible online. So it's a very important aspect of this, that you are making the content of the email that you're about to send visible publicly. And I can now show you the end result. So I've just received this in my inbox, and you can see it's completely laid out exactly as was created within the editor, but we've got this read more link here, and the read more link will now take us through to the online version, and you can see I can just click on read more, and that shows me the extra content that wasn't visible within the email. So you can have multiple read mores running down the page, and that obviously lets you design an e-newsletter which is compact and succinct when it's received in the inbox, but obviously has a lot of extra content available. So that's one of the new features of the system is that read more functionality. Another new feature which is not released just yet, but this is something that will be released probably within the next few days, but maybe in the next couple of weeks, is the ability to embed the images into your actual emails. Some of you may have noticed that when you send a message through Potentiality by default, the email is received and then the images are downloaded. What this does is actually embed the images into the email that they receive so that the images are visible immediately rather than having to be downloaded. And so that might give you some visual benefits on when they receive the actual message. Just have a look at the actual template builder. If we click on template builder, I'm not sure if some of you have seen that link there, but there's a graphical template builder that we've added to the facility as well. We can just click on e-newsletter as an example, and it's going to bring up an editor for us. And so this is a MailChimp type of editor that lets you construct templates in a nice logical formatted manner. You can see from that template I've clicked on, it's giving me a certain layout, and you can see every component of this layout has is very structured, and so we can move these around, we can copy them, and you can see I've just copied one there, and then we can go in and change that text. Every time I click on an element, it gives me the properties of that element on the right hand side. So they've got a placeholder here for an image, but if I wanted to change that image, I can just click on change image, and then we can upload some new images. They've obviously got some sample images here, but we can upload some new images. So if we just have a look at the layout here, it's just a matter of taking something that looks similar to what you've got already and then just dropping in components. So you can see under the structure, we can lay out things in columns of 4, columns of 3, however we like, and it's just a matter of dragging that in and filling that out. This is an external plugin. This is I've just had a question there about, are the templates responsive? They are. They've been designed to be able to be viewable on a mobile as well as on a desktop. As I said, this is an external product. This is that we've integrated. You can see it's called Be Free, which is up in the top left-hand corner. If you need more help on that, feel free to get in touch with us, but also there's the help button there that it takes you through to their help, and obviously that walks you through the use of that editor. So that's the actual editor side of things. If we go back to the email, you'll notice, and you've probably seen it before, is that we've got the content elements showing on the right hand side. You can see we've got different elements that can be dropped in, and again, this is one of the significant benefits. If we go back to this usage of data diagram, because if you were using an external system such as MailChimp or Constant Contact or those types of things, you're copying out your mail lists, but also you don't have direct access to the data within the database. And you're also disconnected from the other components of your website. So you can't drop in direct links through to your website. You obviously have to copy and paste that, or you can't display all your events immediately within the newsletter. That's all things that must be done manually. Whereas if it's in Potentiality, that's all available immediately. All the data is available immediately. All the integration with different components of the website is available. So when we look at the menu system on the left-hand side, we could change this text to hi, and then we'll just drag in preferred name or first name. You can see we've got every database field available here, so we could drop in a mail merge with their all sorts of information that you might want to make available. We've also got all direct links. So when I click on direct links, this is a replica of the menu system of the site. So we could, if we're running an event, we could drop in a link here to RSVP for an event, and we can just drop that in like so. Also, we've got some kind of fundraising templates. So this is actually more for our UK clients, which is one of the issues going on over there is the ability to get consent from for fundraising purposes. So that's what that's for. You can see we've got all our images and attachments available, so we can just drag in content from the file repository on this site. We can insert posts, we can insert payment requests. So you could actually say if you wanted to request from your community you know, a payment for a new umbrella or something, we could just put in a cost and you know, put that in as an actual click link that people can then go through to make payment for that item. So look, I think that's a pretty good run through for now. Obviously, you know, we're building functionality on this all the time. There's still going to be more functionality yet to come that we'll be adding to the facility, but that I think is a pretty good run through for now. So yeah, what we're trying to get across to our clients is that the use of the data is obviously a lot simplified when you're using Potentiality in conjunction with the school database, but you also get the benefits of being able to use any template from any source. So simplifying the use of the data and then having the template look any way that you want, and then most importantly, you know, the engagement tracking and the read statistics are feeding immediately back into your database so that you can then use that for your fundraising or use it to run sophisticated searches on the data. So all of that is just happening automatically. Just to touch upon the actual the unsubscribe options, that was actually something I haven't gone through already. I've come back to this. This is a demo site of Auckland Grammar, by the way, so it's an exact copy of their live site, but the data's been jumbled. You can see at the top there it says this site is for demonstration purposes. We've run this search on their people who have attended 10 events and who have clicked on an email, and that then gives us our results down the bottom. Now, up in the top right-hand corner, you can see we've got all our unsubscribe options. You can have as many unsubscribe options as you want. We can create new ones for you. So you just tick on those as you create this message. Then you can click on select recipients, then click here. So the first step of this is you are respecting the communication requests of that person. We can then just select on our you know, let's say the headmaster's bulletin as an example, and one of the options down the bottom is that recipients can opt out of this field. So what that means is that when a link at the bottom of the email is inserted as an opt-out option, you're actually opting them out of the specific field that is relevant for this email. So if this was an event calendar email as an example, we can just click on that, and so all of the opt-out options are being handled automatically. So when you're drafting your message, you're using the same data. When people are clicking on opt-out, it handles the opt-out automatically. It notifies the administrator as a matter of course, but it's handling the opt-out automatically. So everything is being handled without the need to duplicate and copy information back into a central database. So yeah, there's obviously a lot of benefits that go with that. So I think that's probably a good time to finish this up, and we can, obviously we've got a very specific question there about Kerry. We'll get in touch with you guys about looking at what you need to do. So yeah, that's probably a good time to wrap it up. If you've got any other questions, please feel free to get in touch. But yeah, look, that's all for now. We'll be running another session maybe next week or the week after on a different part of the product, so feel free to join on that. Thanks very much for your time, guys. See you later.